Imagine, folks, if you had someone, maybe yourself, and you did something for 35 years, you're probably got to the point to where you're pretty darn good at it. And you might think about halfway into it, you know what, I want to go out on my own and see how I can do with my own business. Well, that's exactly the story behind what our next guest is up to today with his not one, but two different companies. Well, let's get into it now. First, the guest, his name is Devin Burke. The companies that he has that we're going to discuss today, Banah Trading and Universal Cargo. David Burke, welcome to All In today, sir. How are you?
Did you just call me David?
I called you Devin. I was thinking of my host over here. Devin Burke. I get confused when I have one guest with two first names. It messes me up. Nice to see you, Devin. How are you?
Doing great. Out here in L.A.
Well, I'm glad you're out there in L.A. We're here in Texas, and if it wasn't for the miracle of Zoom, I never would have met you. So thank you, Zoom people, once again for letting me meet interesting people like Devin Burke. So as I was going through there on the intro, you have 35 years experience in logistics, 15 of it before you even started your own company. So for those of us that aren't totally aware, what is your definition of logistics?
Woo. Logistics is how you get stuff from A to Z. I mean, it's a million little things involved. You got air freight, ocean freight, trucking, warehousing, custom house clearance, you name it. It's a lot of moving parts, and if one part of that chain is a little flimsy or falls apart, the whole thing falls apart. So it's a lot of stress.
A lot of stress.
Stress.
A lot of keeping a lot of balls in the air, and that's just if you're doing domestic logistics, but you're way into it. International logistics, even in good times, is difficult. In the times we're in today, I cannot imagine what all you're going through on a day-to-day basis, but on behalf of your customers, your clients, thank you for doing what you do, because I know it's not easy, but you do it, and you've been doing it for a long time. So let's get into it. Exactly what are you up to with your companies? I know very timely, you're very big time into helping people get mass quantities or small quantities, whatever they need, of PPE supplies. How do you do it?
Well, back in March, when everything kind of went topsy-turvy on us in our country, our business kind of came to a screeching halt. And all of our customers stopped importing. And we're like, what the heck is going on here? So at the same time, because we're very plugged in with Asia and a lot of networking over there, I started seeing people asking, hey, where you can get N95 masks, where you can get nitrile gloves. And I started doing some networking and putting things together, which I had previously done before with our customers that are importing furniture. I was really good at sourcing and doing quality control. So it was a natural pivot, and so we started moving a lot of that kind of product, which we call PPE products, personal protective equipment. And then I just started naturally going towards, well, you know what? I'm going to register with the FDA and form another company and start importing it myself so that we can now supply on a smaller level, because a lot of the stuff moving is, millions and millions of masks or boxes of gloves or gowns and so forth. We decided let's target on the small local businesses or healthcare, like dentists, medical buildings, smaller hospitals that are not getting their PPE products, and schools. So we started doing what we call bundles, and we do a little bit of everything customized for the customer. And we have it here in our warehouse in LA, so we can provide like next day or 2 days later delivery at pretty good prices. So you don't have to pay the huge prices that you would normally have to do big volume for. When I say huge volume prices for low cost, but if you're buying small volume, typically you're paying really high cost. So we kind of have a little niche there. We give someone the convenience of getting their products at a small volume at a really good price. So the two businesses are Banah Trading, which does the PPE products, and Universal Cargo is my logistics company. And we kind of work hand in hand, helping each other, because you've got to have the logistics that go with all that, because most of it comes out of Asia.
Let me ask you this, Devin. When you're talking about the customization of the products, do the products come in blank and you customize them here in the U.S., or are they customized overseas and show up already customized?
When I say customized, I mean customized size of orders.
Gotcha.
Like someone may only want 1,000 boxes of gloves, and they only want, 800 N95 masks. And so instead of having to order the MOQ, minimum order quantity of 100,000 boxes, we can split it up into customized orders. But yeah, nobody really cares about the brand.
No.
They just want the product.
They just want the product, and they want it in the quantities they need. They don't want to be forced to buy more than they need because that's the only thing they can do. I think it's brilliant that you spun off from your own company to another company to take care of a separate yet equally important market segment that for most people it's overlooked in a lot of ways.
Well, at the same time, my son, who's a pro golfer, had started a Pro-Am business a couple years ago, and that business shut down. So I had to put him to work. So he came to work for me running that PPE business. So kind of killed more than one bird with one stone with that deal.
Well, the big leg up that you have is the fact, obviously, that you have so many years experience in international logistics and all that entails. But because you'd already been doing that for so long before March got here, there's so many people that didn't get into it until March, and they had to play catch up. If they're going to try to compete with you, they don't have a chance because you already had the infrastructure, the relationships, the partnerships in place to move forward versus someone that just started here. They've got to try to create the 20 years of experience you already had. That's not going to happen. Another big plus, though, for you with Universal Cargo side is the fact that you're more service-oriented than other people because you get it. You understand that not everybody needs this many products. They need this many products, but they need them equally as quick as well. So would you agree that that's a big plus for you with Universal Cargo is the fact that you're able to offer service that others can't?
Well, yes, because I find that a lot of people in the PPE world, they don't understand logistics. They're saying, I need 100 million boxes of nitrile gloves. I need it next week. I'm like, you realize that's about 30. Let me see. I'm trying to do the math again. It's 30 airplanes for 10 million gloves, or 300 airplanes. So where are you going to get all those planes in 1 week? They don't. There's no space for those planes anyways. And you realize how many trucks that is to get the product into the planes. That's thousands of trucks. Or if you want them in containers, that's thousands of containers. And you can't even get space right now on most vessels because it's peak season. Walmart and everybody's shipping all the Christmas goods now. So I'm finding I'm having to help a lot of PPE people to understand the realities of logistics and also help them bring down the costs at the same time. So you're absolutely correct. Being in the logistics world is a great advantage for what's going on right now in this PPE world.
Is one of those advantages as well, not just on the logistics side, but on the quantity side, are you able to be a little bit flexible on pricing more so than others because of the mass quantities and the infrastructure, if you will, that you already have in place? Give you a little flexibility on pricing? Oh,
yeah, because right now we've learned in the last 6 months, right? It's been about a good 6 months. It's hard to believe this whole thing is 6 months already, a half year. But here we are in September. And I've learned a ton, man. I didn't know anything about PPE 6 months ago. And now I've learned, what different options there are to buying products overseas FOB versus financed COD over here versus, some factories have more flexibility as far as production versus others. And it's a whole thing you have to learn by getting into this, knowing where the fraud is. There is a lot of fraud out there. There's a lot of people misrepresenting, saying that, say, a 4 mil nitrile glove, which is what is FDA standard, is really a 2 mil glove, and it's almost like a vinyl glove. It doesn't really quite do the job. Or some of these N95s or KN95s are not really up to snuff. So you find out a lot of what's real and what isn't real. And that's what Devin, I'm able to do.
Devin, I got to roll, folks. Bottom line, folks, if you're going to do anything, you want to get someone with the experience that Devin Burke has, because he's the guy that can answer questions other people don't even know to ask. Devin, thanks for sharing your story with us today. Continued success. Thanks for helping to keep us all safe. Take care.